Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Hello Dave with Down to Earth Astronomy. It has been, I think, quite a mixed week for Frontier Development and Elite. Started out not so good, but definitely ended on a high note. So let's go with the week and let's see what's been going on. But before we actually start, we have to go back further than the beginning of last week, back to the last weekend, where the whole Rhea thing was running and people were making absurd amounts of money by transporting passengers. And only like a couple days after that was posted to Reddit, I also did a video about it, then Frontier was already ready with a nerf that hit both Rhea and Quints. Now, initially that made a lot of people, I would say angry, maybe it's a little strong, but a lot of people got pretty mad at Frontier because there's been bugs in this game since launch, and some people were complaining that there was even ships on the Xbox version of the game that had no sounds, where sounds was not working, which is something they are taking months to fix, yet these kind of stuff, they can fix them within a heartbeat. And of course, this kind of thing was a minor thing, where all the other stuff can of course take a lot longer to fix. That's true. But it still made a lot of people quite mad at Frontier, and I can, at some point I can understand it. I mean, I think it's frustrating that whenever I'm trying to do any events with more than 4 people, it's just a thing that we have to live with, that instancing issue is gonna be a thing, and connection is not gonna perform up to par. I mean, we have tried, if you're going more than 8 people in the same instance, forget about doing it in a private group. I don't know why that's different, but every time we do it in a private group, we have people disconnecting, we have NPCs respawning left and right, and we have NPCs still being alive on one person's screen, shooting and killing them while they are dead on other people's screens, and then they're respawning seconds after they're dead again. There's just so many issues when it comes to large player groups. And this is something that's been in the game for years. And so, I mean, the point is people were getting mad that the Frontier was instantly patching stuff like this, yet other stuff that like that is not being attended to. But anyway, that was at the beginning of the week, which was what I meant with that Frontier maybe didn't have the best start to the week. And to make matters even worse, then they also introduced they wanted to nerf the missiles, new AX missiles, the anti-Thargoid weapons. And the idea that they wanted was that they wanted to reduce their effectiveness against other players. So what they wanted to do was they wanted to reduce their armor penetration, which makes complete sense. I mean, the hearts on the Thargoids are external modules, meaning that you don't need armor penetration to actually damage them. And that's also why when if you're attacking another ship and you're shooting at external modules like guns or scanners, they will die a lot quicker. You can kill those modules a lot quicker because you don't have to penetrate the armor, which you have to do if you want to damage like the power distributor, power plant, something like that. So of course they wanted to reduce the armor penetration of the missiles to make them as not effective against players, but they should of course still be effective against the Thargoids' hearts. But what seemed to have happened is that they instead nerfed the damage. And instead of I mean, I'm not sure this is what happened, but this seems to be what most people agree on. But if this is the case that they nerfed the damage, at least what they did afterwards was they went out and they said, oh, well, this is because the Thargoids are adapting. And they made it a law thing that it was happening, which I, by the way, think is a great idea, making the Thargoids adapt as we develop new weapons. But what I don't understand is why they wouldn't own up to it if they made a mistake. I mean, come on, guys, everybody makes mistakes. And I think it would have been, I mean, if they made a mistake, I think instead of trying to make it a law thing, they should have just owned up to it. And to be honest, if the Thargoids are going to adapt, then change the Thargoids. Give them more armor. Give the hearts more hit points. Something like that. Because that should be the Thargoids adapting, not the weapons adapting, even though I know it was like killing two birds with one stone by doing what they did. So they both would reduce their effectiveness against other players, and also should make the Thargoids adapt if that was what they really wanted to do. And talking about the current rate of this arms race that's currently going on with the humans and the Thargoids. There's one I don't understand why Frontier is in such a rush. They have been, since the launch of 2.4, I mean, there's been, every week we have gotten new weapons. There have been developments coming out faster than people could have a chance to go out and try it out and test it. I mean, a lot of players, they didn't even get a chance to use the AX missiles before they got nerfed, and because they could become, well, almost useless. And that's something I don't understand. I mean, I know that they wanted to give us a feel of progression, but at this point it just feels like, I mean, it feels unrealistic that we develop a new weapon. Fair enough, that's come within a week. You could argue that the first AX missiles was something that's been in development for a long time, doing the 2.3 patch, and now it's just coming out now. But then the Thargoids adapt to it within days, and then we get a new weapon that can then counter their adaptation, and then it's just moving so quickly. And I don't get why. It just feels a little unnatural that things are progressing so quick. And what I'm afraid is going to happen, either they have some deadline they want to meet, or I'm afraid what's going to happen is that they're going to just keep this rapid pace of progression, and then after a couple of months, maybe they are out of content, and then we are sitting back waiting for the next release in Q1 of next year. I would much rather, since they are now trying this progressive release of content, that it would spread it out in such a way that it would actually go all the way up to the next release, so that you would have a constant flow of new things coming into the game. I think that would be much better. But if they okay, of course, I don't know if they actually have so much content they want to put into the game that they need to progress this quickly in order to get up to that point. But if that's the case, maybe they should just put less content in this time and then make the story act a little longer. I don't know. I just think it's weird with the current rate of progression. I mean, we're getting everything so quickly and just seems a little unnatural. Talking about new stuff, we are of course working on the we got the missiles first. Now we're working on the cannons, I think is the next one. And so far, I mean, it makes complete sense, right? We start with the missiles we've got from Liz, and I mean, Liz, she's an explosive expert. She does engineering upgrades for torpedoes and missiles and mines, so of course she would make missiles, right? And then we got the multi-cannons, which was of course done by Todd the Blaster, because Todd the Blaster does multi-cannon upgrades. So now that we're working on the cannons, we of course have to go to the Sarge, right? Because he's the cannon guy. But no, no, this is the Dweller. The Dweller does the cannons. And when I saw that, I was like, what? Why? The Dweller does lasers and power distributors. Why is he suddenly coming out with an AX cannon? That should be the Sarge that does that stuff. He's the cannon guy. And now the Dweller. I don't get it. I don't get it. The only explanation I've been able to come up with, and it might be that there's some lore that I've missed somewhere, why it is the Dweller that's doing cannons suddenly. The only reason I can come up with is that the Sarge is a level 3 engineer, meaning you have to unlock 2 engineers before him, whereas the Dweller, the Dweller is a level 1 engineer, meaning he's public knowledge, you can unlock him right away. So what I was thinking was that this was actually Frontier trying to not force, but encourage people to go and unlock the engineers. Not that I think that was a problem. There was plenty of encouragement already to unlock the engineers, but they now wanted to maybe get more players to begin unlocking the engineers. And by doing that, they just made all these like special community goals, not really community goals, but these unlocking new AX weapons. And they do that for all the base engineers. All the first level engineers, because they want, of course, the new players to begin unlocking them, but they would do that because they wanted to take part in the new content that's coming out. Which was why it wouldn't surprise me if we're not going to see any weapons from Farseer, for instance. First of all, she doesn't really do weapons to start with, and she does the grade 5 frameshift drive, and everybody's going to go for Farseer first, because you want your grade 5 frameshift drive, you can jump longer, which is also going to make it easier for you to unlock all the other engineers. So, but again, I think if this is what they're doing, then we're probably going to see first some of the first level engineers, then we're going to move on to second level engineers, proceeding the ones we already unlocked from the first set, and then moving down the tree like that. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. But if that's the case, well, if you want to do the Dweller, why didn't they just give us lasers instead? Why are they going for cannons at the Dweller, not lasers? It seems weird to me. But okay, there's lots of stuff that seems weird. And this was all at the beginning of the week. And then of course, at the end of the week, we had the Frontier Expo. I was unfortunately not able to participate in the actual expo, even though I was invited. But I was at a trip with work, took up a quick image. So this is where I spent the weekend. Was rather nice place, but again, it was work related. So I would have preferred to be at the expo, but that will have to be next year. And of course, there was a lot of stuff announced at the expo, but I'm not gonna go into too much detail with it because I already have 2 videos, which is gonna be up in the info icon. First one is about the new ships that are coming out, and the second one is like a general overview of everything that's gonna come out here. So again, I'm not gonna go into too much detail with that. Go and watch those videos if you're interested in all the new stuff coming out. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. And as I also said in the video, I think there's a nice to see Frontier focusing more on the multiplayer aspect of the game. And then the fact that they're making all of this free, you would think that that's something that would have people's arms raised high and rejoicing all around. But no, there's actually been quite a negative feel to this. People have acted quite negatively over the fact that it's free. And these are, of course, all the people who bought the lifetime season pass. And for those who don't know, back when Horizon was launched, which is, wow, is it almost 2 years ago? I can't remember when that Horizon. Anyway, when Horizon was launched, you got the opportunity to buy different packages. You could buy a season pass, so that would give you access to all of the Horizon content, which was initially planned to last a year. I think it lasted about 2 years, but never mind that. So, and then once that season, Horizon season, was over, there would be a new season, and then you would have to buy a new pass, and then a new pass, and a new pass. And the idea was you would buy these season passes, and that was going to make or give Frontier the money to keep developing the game. But now they've moved over. It seems like what happened was that they were not finished with the content, but they were kind of spent the time, so the money was pretty much also spent. That's when they went into begin doing microtransactions, at least focusing more on microtransactions, and then I guess they figured out, oh wait, this is actually a great way of making money by doing microtransactions. So what they're doing now is they're making this next season free. But of course, all the people back, instead of buying a single season pass, they bought a lifetime pass. So, I mean, they're gonna get access to all the seasons there was ever gonna be, and it was quite an expensive pack to buy. And all those people, of course, feel kind of cheated because they now bought a premium pack that they are essentially getting absolutely nothing for. They paid extra for a product that they essentially didn't get because they were expecting to get lots of seasons they had to pay every year. Instead, they just paid a lot of money up front and then had a lifetime pass for the game. And it seems like even if you bought the normal Horizon season pass, you would now have a lifetime pass anyway, if this is the way Frontier is going to go forward with this. And even if they decide to switch back and say, okay, it's okay, we're doing the third season, that's going to be free, and then the fourth season is going to be a paid season as well, and then the guys with the season pass could then get it again. But then I would hope that Frontier would address this. They haven't, as far as I've seen, not addressed this as of yet, but I would really hope that they're doing some kind of compensation for those people. Maybe not a payback, but maybe they're gonna give some kind of special, what do I know, paint job, something, ship kit. And regardless of what they're gonna do, there's gonna be some people who are unhappy with it. But if they compensate people, problem is then that they then lose the chance to go back and do a season thing again, because then suddenly they compensated people for buying the season pass, but the lifetime pass, but then they suddenly went back and then they actually got the product by going back to season. It's gonna be a whole mess. It's already a mess. But anyway, this is getting a little well, not as structured. So basically, people are mad that the next season is free because they bought into a lifetime pass, and that's completely understandable that they feel a little cheated, that they paid more money for a product that everybody else is then getting for free. So I can definitely understand that. Okay, I think that's about what happened in Elite. I have one thing more that I want to comment, and I think this is something that that you guys are gonna love. And there's already been a lot of attention around this. I'm amazed how well this has been received by not only the community around this channel, but the whole Elite community in general. The past weekend, I sat down I sat down and made a spreadsheet, because every time I go out and I engineer stuff, I always go back and see, oh wait, I did a video some time ago about locations for where to find that and that and that material. I have to go remember, oh, which video was that, and I can't remember. So what I did was I said, okay, I'm just going to make a spreadsheet with all the engineering materials and where you can get them, and then make a link for my own video. And as I was doing this, I realized, well, why not just publish this spreadsheet? I mean, I would use it myself. I was mainly making it because I would make my own life easier. But I realized that this could make everybody's life easier by just sharing it. So to Google Drive it went, and I posted it on Reddit and on a Facebook group and on my own Discord. And since then, it's been shared to a lot of different communities around Elite, and I've gotten tons of very positive feedback. I'll put a link to the spreadsheet in the description so you can see it. It's very neat. Again, it holds location for pretty much all the engineering materials, and I am expanding on it. You will see that since it was first released, I've already added 2 more fans. One that gives you an overview of which engineers you need to unlock in order to unlock a specific engineer. And I'm in the process of making videos like how-to guides for unlocking all engineers one at a time. And as those videos is completed and they get uploaded and published, I'll add them to the spreadsheet. So at some point in the future, we'll have a full overview of all the engineers, which one you have, in which order you have to unlock them to get to a specific engineer, and all of them will have a video guide showing you everything you need to know about unlocking that specific engineer. That, together with the list of materials, is also, I think that makes this a very strong tool, and I'm planning to keep expanding upon this. Also, there's last fan. This is just, so far I've just put in some useful videos that might be useful when you're engineering, like how to land on a high gravity world, or how to navigate by planet coordinates, which is something that you quite often need to do if you're out looking for materials for engineers. But anyway, link for that below the video. I think I'm gonna call it here for this time. I hope you liked it. If you did, give the like down below, and consider subscribing to the channel, and come over on Discord and say hi. And yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys in space.